Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. I am Droplet Moth, and welcome to this yapping session while you watch me draw. So, today, as you can see from the title, I want to go back to the past, technology wise. Not too far into the past, obviously. Back into the past, like, let's say when I was in middle school, around middle school for me was 2009 through 2011. So I would like to go back to that type of past where everything seemed a little bit more colorful than it is now. So let's get to it. I started thinking this way not so long ago. Have you noticed that everywhere you go, everyone seems to be looking down on their phones? Everywhere. I mean, like at a school, at an office, at the grocery store, the waiting room of a doctor's office, at the park, in your car, at the red light when you're not supposed to be super distracted, but there's people like that. I've noticed that a lot more often in the past few years. I've noticed that a lot of people nowadays, not a lot of people, almost every single person has a smartphone. The oldest people have smartphones. Even little babies have smartphones. Even if it's not theirs, their parents are giving it to them, like their own phone to their little stinky children. They have phones already stuck to their faces at a really young age. Also have never noticed this for a really long time is that I as well have been doing the same thing. I would have my smartphone with me, and that was my life. Well, I was doing the same exact thing that these other people are doing until one day I forgot my phone at home when my family decided they wanted to go out and eat. So while we were there waiting for the waitress to come, like, take our order, obviously I did not have my phone with me, so I was just sitting there looking, but everyone else around me was just heads down, phones out, and I'm like, wow, man, I'm so bored. And then I noticed, I'm like, oh, we ordered our food, and the minute this lady walked away, boom, heads back down, phones, small giggling in the corner, a video playing a little slightly too loud, and I'm just thinking, like, is this what we really look like? And yeah, that's exactly what we look like. It looks silly. I cannot blame them for the way, like, they use their phones, because, like I said, I'm also, or at least I was also the same way. I would always have my phone with me before I went to bed, and the minute I woke up, my phone was always the first thing I seen in the morning. And that would be like my routine, like nightly YouTube videos before bed, wake up in the morning to look at my phone, scroll social media for an endless amount of time, and then finally wake up because my body says that I need to go pee. Like, I truly believe that I did not have any time in my day to do anything. I always felt like time was always passing me by, and that I didn't, like, I was doing something wrong, but I never put two and two together that maybe I was just spending too much time on my phone. And I felt fatigued and my creativity was lacking so much that I just wanted to throw away everything and quit all my creative hobbies that I have. And I was extremely tired all the time. Like, I was just sleepy. I just did not want to do anything. I did not have the energy. I'm here thinking, like, wow, I'm sleeping through, like, the hours I need. I'm drinking water. I'm doing everything I need to do. But why am I so exhausted constantly? So, while I was having one of my binges on YouTube, I stumbled upon a couple videos that had the titles around, like, titles that said, like, how to bring back my creativity. So of course that's exactly what I was struggling with. So I clicked them. I watched them. I think too many of them, but I watched them. All these videos basically had the same concept of how to get back my creativity, but one of the biggest things that each of these videos had in common was the topic of boredom. Nowadays, humans don't let themselves become bored. The minute you feel a sliver of boredom, we grab our phones to entertain ourselves again, because how dare we be bored nowadays in the lovely year of 2025. But I've noticed that the constant entertainment going through our brains, the constant mush slop that we probably are watching on our phones, most likely we pick up our phones for social media, and that is what's keeping our brains like hot wired, constantly busy. We never give ourselves a tiny break of that. Like, we don't like, boredom, that's what boredom is. Like, you just give your brain the silence, like, give it a break. We don't give that anymore. We don't have that anymore. We don't give our brain that option anymore. The creator that explains this pretty well is John Talks, in his video called The Boredom Paradox. I think that's the video that kind of like displayed it for me, because he literally displays it, like, he draws it on a paper, and I'm like, that's what I needed. I needed a person to explain it to me like a 5-year-old, how it's supposed to, like, what did these people really mean about boredom. And this creator explains it extremely well, and he's also really entertaining, so it kept me engaged long enough. Like I said in the beginning, what I really mean to go back in the past, I don't want to go back in the past. Like, I don't want to be a child again. I want to go back in the past technology wise. I want to use technology like how I used it in the past when I was a preteen child with that didn't have crazy technology. I would like to go back to the days where I did not have a tiny little computer in my pocket. Back to the days where the phone was only used to call and text. I want to go back to the days where I would actually sit and be bored, because there was literally nothing to do unless I wanted to turn on the TV. But at that time, they weren't playing the show I wanted at that time. I had to wait like an hour or two before they started playing the cartoons I wanted to play. So I did not want to turn on the TV. During those times, I did not have we had a family computer. So if one of our siblings was using the computer, we didn't use it. I couldn't use it. And let's say exactly 2009, I was probably maybe 12 years old. So for a 12-year-old, I did not have too much access to the computer just yet, because that's not what the computer did not is not the one is how do I say this? The computer wasn't what interested me a lot, like during that time of my life. I want to go back to those times, that same time where I had an iPod Nano and like a digital camera. I did not have a digital camera at that time, but I knew there was digital cameras, of course, because my older sister had one. But my digital camera was actually my DS. 2009, yes, I turned 12. So during that time, I already had a DS. I had a DS Lite, but when I received a DSi, that was my digital camera. So I want to go back to those times where I would sit at home bored waiting for my sister to get off the computer because she's updating her MySpace page, and the times I would sit in my room playing Animal Crossing on my DS, or even better, I was playing Flip Notes, and I was also playing with the camera, editing videos, or not videos, editing pictures, because that's what it was. We were editing so many pictures on that little thing, or playing on my iPod, even though it was mostly filled with my brother's music because I did not know how to download my own music. Or not that I did not know how to download my music, I was not allowed to, because we only had one computer and we could not afford to get a virus on it. So all the music that was in there was my brother's or my sister's that we already had on the computer. So I miss those times. What those videos are talking about are true. Boredom does spark creativity, and I've been doing a couple things to get back to that point in life again. So I'm minimizing my social media usage. I think the only social media that I have are on my computer, and I only use certain social medias just to post art, and that's about it. Other than that, I don't really browse social media. Like, I once in a while I'll go in and like maybe look at some of my friends that I follow on those same art accounts, and look at their post, and then I'll look at posts of like some artists that I really enjoy. But it's literally less than 5 minutes. I look at them, I press on their little icon, I see anything new, press a like, leave a comment, and then I'm out of there. Like, I dip. And the same thing, it's just the same thing with any other social medias. To be honest, I only post in 2 places. It's my Instagram and my Blue Sky. My streaming for music streaming, I've canceled all my streaming. I canceled my Spotify and my Apple's Music. Now I'm using my MP3 player again. I've downloaded music legally. I bought music, and I've gotten into cassettes now. I have a bunch of mixtapes. I have a cassette player. I have a cassette deck. I learned how to make mixtapes, so I'm having fun with that and having my own music. Like, this is my music now. Like, no one can take it away when they decide to stop putting it on the streaming platforms. And reading, I've been reading a lot more physical books. I do have a Kindle, and I had Kindle Unlimited for a while, but I actually canceled that like a long time ago. But I learned that my library has Libby, and I can actually get my borrowed books into my Kindle. But at the moment, I made a goal to finish reading the physical books I have at home that I have not finished. I'll finish those, and then once I'm finished with those, I am gonna start using the Libby app again. And once in a while, when I could, I am gonna also just check out books from the library. And of course, if you haven't noticed, I have been drawing way more. These small things that I've done has kept me away from like the screen, has kept me away from the phone, and it's working. Has all of this magically changed my life? To be honest, I cannot say yet, but slowly I've noticed an improvement of like the things I was complaining about before, like the tiredness, the lack of creativity, like this, like me literally staying away from like the phone has brought back so much that I did not have before, or I had before but I lost. And now I feel great that I don't have to worry about or care about what Becky is doing on Instagram with her 8 children and her backyard garden. I am enjoying myself with my own things and my own hobbies, and I'm creating a lot more, just like this YouTube video, because I've focused my time on better things. So I believe this is what it is to like live in the past, but also live in the moment, living in the present, without me completely taking away all of my electronics. My electronics are there when I need them, but I do not rely on them anymore like how I used to. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say now. I would also like to hear your opinion on this topic as well. What is your opinion on living slower, minimizing your screen time? Well, that is all I have to say for today. Thank you everyone that's joined me on this yap session, and apologies if you guys were able to hear my husband in the background yelling at his friend while playing Marvel Rivals. Anywho, thanks again for listening, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye bye now.